Right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Celeste will record here. And good morning. If you would like a personal reading or anything else like that, join us in the Coven will record. Is my speaker on? Why does this look weird? Can you hear me? There it is. Good morning, good morning, good morning. There we go. All right, my speaker's on now. As always, if you'd like to join us for more in the Coven the Silver Cord, links are below. If you would like a personal reading, links are below. And if you enjoy these videos, please like, share, subscribe, spank my bell. I just really wanted to touch base this morning on a big problem that a lot of people tend to have, and it is when someone around you that you're close to tends to make you feel like your feelings are invalid. Good morning. Case in point, this morning, we were running a little late. Good morning. So I was running a little late this morning, and I was trying to explain to my boyfriend why. And I had this conversation with him when he started his new job. He does not have a car. I have to take him to work. And I told him, I was like, I like to be on by 7:15. I announced this online that I would be on between 7 and 7:15 in the morning for you guys on my time. I like to have a stable time that I come on every day so that you guys know when I'm on, and it gets the morning message out first thing in the morning, right? Also, when kids start school, they'll be starting at 8, so I need to be able to do this between 7 and 7:30 so that I can get them up at 7:30 and get their school day started, because once I'm gonna have 3 kids on the computer, they're gonna be eating up all my broadband. And I explained this all to him this weekend before he started this new job. Now today, he decided he did not want to go in 10 minutes early. And I was trying to explain to him why it was important to me, and I got told, I think you just wanted to get up and bitch this morning. And that kind of triggered me. I was like, no, do not invalidate my feelings, especially when I have expressed them more than once as to why it's important to me. And now that's what happens. That's what happens sometimes. And you have to be able to make sure that your feelings get expressed and your feelings are listened to if you're in a relationship. And I had to go over it again. And, Rob has his own societal issues from just the stuff that's happened to him in his life. So I do understand his perspective, but I had to explain to him, no, this is important to me. You guys are important to me. Doing this for y'all is important to me. And if I ever want to be successful, I have to be able to maintain a solid routine. But I had to make it clear that what he did, I had to explain to him how he invalidated my feelings on the matter, And it was resolved by the time we got him to his job. And tomorrow he will be up and ready to leave at 6:30 so that I could be back here on time. And that's how you guys should be. Don't let people invalidate your feelings. Your feelings are important. You know what I'm saying? You are trying to follow your intuition and better y'all's lives. We cannot allow people to tell us that what we are trying to do is not important. And when someone sees you trying to accomplish a goal, they should be trying to help you. I've mentioned this, like if you're on a diet and, if you're on a diet and you're exercising and you're trying to lose weight and your partner's constantly sabotaging your diet, you need to ask yourself why. Why do they want you to keep your self-esteem low? And then have that conversation. Like, we all have the tendency to be narcissists too. We do. It is... You just do. And if you attracted a narcissist, you need to ask yourself how you attracted them. Are you a total enabler to them? What narcissistic traits do you have? If you're going to watch these videos, don't just watch them to pick apart your partner and find just points of the argument. You need to recognize what traits you have that are attracting these kinds of people to you. and why you feel the way you do. But yeah, the objective is when he said that, I think you just wanted to bitch this morning. Yeah, that triggered me a little bit. I'm not perfect, and I had to explain it. And this is a problem that I had with my last husband, is he doesn't understand why this is important to me, because I do not get paid for any of this. And I had to keep explaining to him, I'm like, I'll never get paid for it if people do not allow me to take it seriously. I keep telling you guys to keep working on your skills, whether they're perfect or not, to get better at them. And if I never do it, then I'll never get better at it, right? So we can't be allowing people to derail us on our goals, right? You are allowed to put things in your life and have, strong feelings about what it is you're trying to do. And you should be allowed to express when someone is sabotaging that for you, whether they're meaning to sabotage it or not. Make sense? Let's see what we got. So far, for our shadow cards this morning, I have got hiding your true self. This is still the 5 card. This is about an internal battle of figuring out who you are and hiding aspects of yourself. So that's another thing I was talking about. If you have to hide aspects of yourself, or you're not being true to yourself, if you're not being true to yourself, that is going to hurt your self-esteem, because part of you will always be true to yourself. And if you're backing them up and bottling that part of yourself up, then, you're always going to have that self-consciousness. You're always going to be scared of saying the wrong things. And if you're walking on eggshells, you are not part of your tribe. So you have to be able to be true to yourself if you want to relieve those internal battles. The other one is fragmentation. Are you forced to be different people in different situations around everything that's going on? Now, it is one thing when, you're at home and you can, whatever, you can swear more at home and blah, 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 and do all your fun stuff. But when you got to go to work, you have to, you have to wear your work uniform. You have to, speak correctly all the time. You have to be polite and, you have to play by society's rules. That is one thing. But if it's to the point where you're not at your job or something like that, or out in public, and you have to fragment yourself at home, where you're a different person when your partner's not around to when they are around, that's fragmentation. That's fragmentation. That's 7. That's still an internal conflict card. All right. So you have to find a way where you can be genuine to all the pieces of yourself. I don't know, the theme lately seems to have been my YouTube. I wasn't even looking up narcissists, but my YouTube for some reason has been pulling up a whole bunch of videos on narcissists and the covert narcissist and how to handle those situations. So, that might be something you guys can look up today and just see, and don't look up these videos in an attempt to try and diagnose your partner. You might be the covert narcissist, or you might be the codependent, but it's important to figure out what aspects of yourselves are doing what. You should obtain knowledge to use it properly, not to just use it as a weapon. DNA and karma. You find yourself in these situations that you need to change and elevate, and changing yourself. You are changing your whole DNA line, especially if you have kids or even young people around you. You are setting by example. So it's time to look in the past, and you got to look at your parents, and you got to look at the people who affected you most in your life as to why you developed the personality traits that you did, if you would like to break those karmic cycles of codependency and narcissists. They go hand in hand. I mean, that is the most classic, twin flame story, the empath and the narcissist. One person's an enabler and the other person's one person's the enabler and one person's the narcissist that always seems to get their way. What do we got going on here? We did the clown yesterday. Okay, there's two cards. All right, so let's see what the main storyline's running for today for people. All right, we got the skull, the dragons, or the heart. Which one should we go with this morning? I'll give it a minute for you guys to pick. Skull, the dragon, or the heart? 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll go with the heart. I bring this up because a lot of people, the narcissist, especially the covert narcissist, will look up the narcissist videos and then try to find a way. You want to do the dragon? Okay. Well, the covert narcissist will look up narcissistic videos and then they will find a way to make you feel like the narcissist. So that's why I always say, if you're going to look up these videos, always be sure to try to figure out where you may have some narcissistic tendencies too, so that you can work on those areas, because you don't want to be that person in the relationship either, right? And that's a hard thing to recognize. It's a balance. That's a balancing act too. A lot of people say, egocentric, but it's a balance between putting yourself first and validating other people's feelings. Like, you don't care what other people are feeling. You don't care about making people wait on you. You don't care about making people late. Everybody should have to do stuff for you, and you should. That's the difference. Self-love is you're doing for you, and you're putting yourself first and taking care of yourself first, right? The narcissist expects you to take care of them first and put your own needs on the back burner. See the difference there? So anybody you never put your needs on the back burner for anybody. And needs, not wants, needs, All right, so let's see what the main storyline is going on with the energies today. How can we pull ourselves back together so we are no longer fragmented and stand in our true selves? All right, so we got the Queen of Hearts here. All you divine feminines or divine energies that are watching these videos, we have huge hearts. I mean, that's part of the reason we've all decided to come here and do this timeline at this time with all these big shifts. Why? We needed a lot of people with big hearts in order to counterbalance everything that's going on in the world right now. The only problem she has is if someone rocks her too much. You got to be able to stay on your throne. You got to be able to soothe the dragons, right? So it's not so much about if you love the person you're with and they tend to have narcissistic traits. The point is how do you get through to them without it becoming a knockdown, drag out battle? Like if you're not trying to leave, a lot of people are right now. I know that's a storyline I've been punching a lot, but now that major full moon shift is going, you should have made your decision. Do you love them enough that you want to stay and work with them? And if that's the case, you not only have to be able to soothe their dragon, you have to be able to kind of soothe your inner dragon too, right? You can't allow this one to snap at this one. You got to be the mediator between those two. You are intuitive enough and you can see the high enough perspective that you know what's going on here, right? You can see the multi-dimensional layers that are happening, and how it works. Just because they can be a bit of a narcissist does not make them the most evil person on the planet, right? Unless they are one of those super toxic ones that are somehow affecting your self-confidence and whatnot. Figure out a way to have those conversations. And if it does keep becoming an argument, then you can evaluate that. And then we got the Nine of Pentacles. So, excuse me, I had a hiccup there. This is being grateful for what's around you and trying to find the good aspects of what's going on around you. The attitude of gratitude, it will help you maintain that abundance level. And the 10 of Pentacles. So this is causing you to really focus on your finance and your surroundings and, the space around you. I heard someone say, and it was really profound and it hit me really, really hard one time. I'm not sure exactly who I heard said it, but they had said the clutter in the corners of your house, like little things that are like tucked in corners and any place where it's really chaotic and there's a lot of stuff stashed. Those are, it's emotional baggage. It's emotional baggage that you do need to work through. I'm not saying that you need to be perfect OCD, super neat, but your house should be if you don't have a whole house to yourself, even just your room, your space should be somewhat organized, at least for you, and you should be able to be comfortable within your space. I don't know. The more clutter builds up in the corners around my house, the more I get super anxious and the more I feel burdened because I feel like I can never get done with my day because there's always something that needs to be done. So that's an important message for today. If you have any area, this goes for your workspace too, any area where you're cluttered up, you want to show gratitude towards your space if you want more abundance to come in for you. Here we go. Now, and this is an ice dragon. And this is water, but this is ice. So this is kind of cold water. You need to remove yourself from the situation and look at it from an unemotional point. If you are in the situation where you are in a cycle of arguments with somebody where you feel like your feelings are being invalidated all the time, you need to completely back up out of the situation, remove yourself from all the emotional attachments that you have to whoever it is. This doesn't have to be your love partner. This could be parents and kids or whatever you're dealing, whatever your main or work, whatever your main relationships are. If there's a constant cycle of arguing, you need to kind of take a detached, cold perspective on it. If a stranger came up to you and explained your situation to you, what advice would you give that person? That's the decision that we have to start making. Now, this is the Jack of Hearts reversed. So this person has the multiple personality, right? When you are super sweet to them, they are super sweet in return. But the moment you don't cater to it anymore, they go reversed, which is the opposite of romantic and charming. This is the person that tries to validate your feelings to put their feelings on top. Recognize that. Figure out how to diffuse it without causing an argument. How do you diffuse it without causing an argument? You cannot allow them to get you super emotional. I said this morning, I don't get loud till the other person gets loud. And then I don't get screechy, screaming loud. I just make sure as clearly and calmly as I can. But as the volume goes up, my volume's going to go up too. I mean, and is that the best way to handle this situation? No. But that's my own dragons that I need to calm down to. Look, I don't give you guys this advice because I'm perfect and I've mastered any of this stuff. This is just life experiences and years and years and years of my own therapy and shit that I've been working through. You know, I've been through marriage counseling. I've been therapy since I was 14. So this is just my advice on that. Six of Swords came out reversed. So this is an inability to move on. So when this person's able to manipulate your feelings and get you into an emotional state and then make it feel like you somehow did something wrong, that's how they keep you from being able to move away from them. It is kind of a trap. It's a way to pull you back in. Oh, you don't care about my feelings. What? Now you feel like you need to prove your feelings to them, right? You need to prove that you have loved them all along, that you do want to help them and make them a better person, and and that is a dangerous thing. That is how the empaths, and I'm sorry to say this, but whereas energy vampires tend to be narcissists, empaths tend to be very codependent, and they ply on that. This person, the reverse Jack of Hearts, when he's not being romantic anymore, he plays on that. That's the self-conscious role that they will play on, right? No, I say he and she, which is easier. You guys know what I mean. If you're here, you should know how tarot card readings work at this point, how the energies shift around. All right. So let's see what the tarot has to say today. And I think an important point to make too, because you can end up becoming a narcissist in this battle yourself, because sometimes that's the only way to defend yourself. But their feelings are valid too. You just need to recognize when they are expressing feelings and when they are manipulating. There's a difference. Saying, I feel like you just woke up and felt like bitching this morning. That is not expressing a feeling. That is not expressing a feeling. That was invalidating my feelings on the situation. And yeah, and then he kept trying to just end the conversation and say that I'm dragging it out. And I'm like, no, you do not get to invalidate my feelings and then try to end the conversation. My feelings will be heard, and I will, I will get my point across. I'm not going to just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm also a triple fire sign, so it's, yeah. He's also an Aries fire sign too, so, our conversations can get a little heated sometimes. Actually, I think we're pretty calm as far as fire signs go. I mean, the whole bicker back and forth this morning really only lasted about 15 minutes before we got it all, sorted away. But by the time I dropped him off, he understood exactly why I felt the way I felt. I didn't let him just end it. I didn't let him just brush it off. And I didn't let him make it think like this was going to be an okay thing to set. No, tomorrow morning you will be up and ready to go at the time I said we need to get ready to go, because I do have a life besides you. You are allowed to have a life besides whatever your main partnership connection is. You're allowed to. You just are. All right. Okay. So, Queen of Hearts, how to balance out those dragons. You really just need to take some time. Once again, we got the Four of Swords. Truce. See? Call a truce. A truce within yourself. Figure out how to balance that warring aspect of yourself, because if you've been in these kind of toxic cycles for a long time, you do have the beating yourself up because you've been allowing it for so long, and then you have the other part that's like, no, I'm just going to explode and just wah, and you need to find a truce between those two energies and balance them out, and then work out solid ways of different ways of handling these arguments to end the chronic cycle. Strife. Right. When you have been caving for a long time and you start standing up for yourself, yes, it's going to cause some conflicts, and you cannot be afraid of the conflicts. You need to learn a healthy way of a healthy way of being able to talk through it and figure out how to diffuse it. That's just, everybody should be working on that. Can't avoid the conflict. That'll get you really, really stuck. So yeah, once you start trying to mitigate this and you start balancing it out and you start taking control over situations, so the truly toxic narcissist will fight back, right? And they may even show sides of themselves that you were unaware. All right, now Seven of Cups reversed. This is all about the fantasy. The fantasy is kind of, this is over your gratitude, luxury thing, your luxury card here too, right? So this is realizing not all that glitters is gold. This is the illusions coming down. This is seeing reality. When you make this truce with yourself that you're not going to allow these things to happen anymore and figure out a way to take control of the situation, it will cause conflict, and the illusions will start to shatter. People will start to show their true colors. You will start to notice more and more like things like I said, your feelings being invalidated, your goals being sabotaged, over your hard decision here. King of Swords, right? The King of Swords is a clear thinking intellectual. He does his research. He makes plans. He always has a plan A, and if plan A don't work out, he's got a plan B, and if plan B don't work out, he has to let's see what happens. But there is still some direction that he's trying to go in. There's still intuition and things that he is following. This is about being able to stay emotionally balanced while you're making these decisions so that you do not make rash, harsh decisions that you cannot take back. This is also controlling your tongue and your words, right? When you are going through these conflicts, you have to be careful what you say. What you say will be used against you. So you need to be more clear thinking than the person who is trying to get you to get an emotional response, because the less you respond emotionally to whatever they're trying to do, the more emotional they will start to become in trying to trigger you. Queen of Cups again, right? So we had her at the beginning of the reading, and then here she is again, and this is nurture yourself. Whenever you go through these hard times, you need to take a moment and hold on to your cup and figure out and refill it yourself by loving and nurturing yourself and reassuring yourself that, no, I am a good person. I have done a lot. I did my best. It's not your job to fix everybody. And we do, like I said, when we are empaths and we are in these energies, we try so hard to love people through their own evolution. But at some point, you need to recognize that not everybody is going to evolve, and there's nothing wrong with you if they don't. There's nothing wrong with you if they don't, right? You are still a beautiful divine energy deserving of love, and you should love yourself and recognize yourself for the queen that you are. Why are you scared of getting this moving on? Heartbreak. It's all about heartbreak. You don't want it, and you don't want to cause it, but you cannot avoid it sometimes. Sometimes it's just, you can remove yourself as emotionally as you want to, try to figure out what decision you need to make. But yeah, it's still going to hurt when you start making the decisions to better yourself. You will either hurt yourself or you will be hurting someone that you care very deeply about, that you put a lot of energy into, and that is a very hard thing to do. But you can't avoid it. You can't avoid this. This card reversed. This is a rite of passage upright, right? Sea dragon, right? Victory over emotion, right? When this is this way, this is you're avoiding that victory. Why are you avoiding it? Because you are scared to death of the heartbreak. You do not want to hurt anybody. You do not want to be hurt yourself. Sometimes this could be other people involved, like your kids. You don't want to hurt your kids. This is a third-party heart getting hurt. If you're in a super toxic relationship, understand too, that is something you're teaching your kids. You're teaching your kids that it is okay to be manipulated by a narcissist. You are teaching your kids that it is okay to cower to these people. And you just got to think, if that's what you're worried about, what would you do if you saw your child in that relationship? Right? If your child was dating someone like that was talking to them and treating them like that, what advice would you give them? Because if you don't handle these situations, they will end up in relationships like this, because you have taught them that that's what a relationship is. That was my whole thing with with why I ended both of my marriages. My first husband was extremely verbally abusive. He used to love to get me fired up in my arguments and then use everything that I said against me. And then it came down to him putting his hands on me. And then I was like, no. I'm not going to raise my son to think it's okay to put your hands on other people. And I'm not going to let my daughter think it's okay to allow somebody to put their hands on her. Not raising those people. That's not who I'm trying to raise. And if you're a light worker that is here now and you are in your mid 30s to 50 and you have kids or grandkids, understand that this is what that's all about. Your life has been the way it has because you are supposed to be clearing these toxic karmic cycles of the past, and we are supposed to be teaching the next generation how to, we're supposed to be laying the groundwork for the next generation to not have to worry about clearing karmic debt anymore. This is the whole thing. This is why so many of us have come back remembering our past lives. It is to break these cycles. Ancestry.com, all that, learning our DNA and all that, all the advantages we have now of learning where these toxic cycles come from and how to break them is all laying the groundwork for them. It is 120% about the next generation. We are nothing but the transition team. This goes for work. This goes for our views on money, work, relationships, all of that. Whether you have kids or not, understand, if you're making big moves in the work sector and you didn't have any kids, you are still affecting the next generation. You are still laying the groundwork for those coming up. All right. Ready for the recap? do our recap real quick and we'll see. Slide all these guys down. All right, so we started out this morning with hiding your true self, not being true to yourself, allowing other people to dictate who you are and tell you how you feel. That is not cool. That is how you cut yourself up into little bitty pieces and how you have a hard time seeing anything that you like in yourself because you've cut yourself up into these little pieces and allowed somebody else to let you focus on things that are not all you. You are not weak. You are not small. You are not, that's not you, right? You do deserve to have your feelings be validated, and you do deserve to be able to be your true self. If you're walking on eggshells all the time, avoiding conflict, that's not where you're meant to be. That is cutting you into pieces. It's time to let go of that. DNA karma. Where did you learn to be this way? Who taught that? Look back in history. How did your family history start? How did it used to roll? Did you come from, places that had arranged marriages and you just stayed in an arranged marriage? Whatever. Like my DNA will go back down to hand fasting. Find out that family history. Definitely look at especially your parents or your parents' parents. Somebody taught you that. Somebody downloaded that program into your family line, and it's your job to figure out how and where it came from so you can recognize it, see it for what it is. And then once you recognize it, then you will see when you do those I got a link down below, darling. Come on over to the Facebook, to the Coven the Silver Cord, and you can ask any questions you want in there. I believe my email's down below too if you wanted to email me. So once you figure out where the program came from, then you can recognize when it pops up in your life or when you are exhibiting that behavior so that you can get a handle on it and not be emotionally rocked by it anymore. You can figure out how to break it. Queen of Cups with the Truce card. Time to figure out how to break these cycles of conflict so that you can have some peace. And you're going to have to remove yourself emotionally and figure out how to balance the dragons within yourself. The fragmented pieces of you, so you need to figure out what's warring in your mind and find a way to mitigate a truce between those two energies. And the Pentacles, this is the attitude of gratitude. A lot of you are in a gilded cage, and that is what is keeping you from leaving. You are dealing with all this conflict and strife because you're scared of leaving this. You don't think you have any other. This is the 10 of Pentacles. This is the super gilded. This is the super abundant frequency, but they're making you feel like you have no other options besides them to survive. It's a very dangerous, dangerous trap to be in. They're going to just... And I've seen this happen with a lot of women before, too. It's like anytime you get in a fight with your man, what does he do? He goes out and he buys you something, gives you money, tells you to go shopping. Never validates your feelings, though, do they? They just give you money, buy you something pretty. Here's a new car. Here's something shiny. Here's a credit card. Go shopping with your friends. Here, That is not... That is part of the trap. That is... You're never going to find anybody who can give you all of this again. Is it worth it to not have love? Is it? It's time to make those hard decisions. In the egg of ice, removed from the situation, protected from the sources that cause you to become super wishy-washy, emotional water energy. Be clear thinking, intellectual, right? Do your research, educate yourself. Look up how, like I said, research the narcissist, empath, conflict cycle. Research these things. Look into these things. Look up other, get some psychology books. Be an intellectual. Be smart. Don't allow people to get you waving your sword around and causing damage that can be used against you later. You know what I'm saying? My best friend, when she was leaving her last boyfriend, he got into a big fight with her, and he was talking to some other chick, and he had her. There was this whole big thing going on. Anyway, he got her to snap, and she threw her cell phone. She didn't even hit him with it. She just threw it in his general direction. And he called the cops and pressed charges on her. And then she lost custody of her son because she caught an assault charge for throwing that cell phone. Be smart. Do not let them get you to say and do things that will be used against you later. You have to be smarter. I know that's hard. But you don't want to end up in those situations either. As bad as it is to stay in those relationships because of the kids, it's almost kind of worse to have to leave your kid with the toxic person, right? Because he is not loving and caring and romantic, and he is the manipulator, and he is nasty. You need to be able to love and nurture yourself. You need to be in control of your own cup. You are allowed to be an empath, and you are allowed to try and help people, but you do need to recognize that you can't save everybody. You're not going to help everybody. I tell everybody it's the one starfish at a time. You are not a failure. You need to love and nurture yourself and recognize that you did do everything possible, right? You did do everything possible. You are a very loving person with a huge heart, and you deserve to be loved the same way that you love. And how you get that kind of love, you have to love yourself the way you love other people. You give so much to everybody else. Make sure you are giving that same amount of love to yourself. You don't want to move on because you don't want to cause third-party heartbreaks. This is, you don't want to be hurt, you don't want to hurt them, and you don't want to hurt whatever. What is that country song? You'll be breaking more hearts than mine. Yeah. Can't avoid it. Because it ends up, how long are you going to take all the damage on your own heart because you don't want to hurt anybody else because you're an empath? I understand. I know it is easier to just be in pain than see other people in pain. I understand that 110%. It is a big thing that I had to overcome. But you cannot, your heart's only going to be able to take so much, all right? This is a time to start showing, like I said, we're laying the groundwork for those coming up behind us. It is our job to clear these karmic debts. How do we clear these karmic debts? By overcoming those type of energies, the energies that will allow yourself to be in pain just to spare everybody else pain. Good morning. I'm just wrapping up now. All right, so our magic cards for today. Self-confidence. Again. Strong self-belief and sense of self-worth. I said the easiest way to get the self-confidence is by, achieving small goals. Achieve your small goals, right? Whatever it is, you can make it easy. You could do something like, I'm going to fast today. Easy, achievable goal. Well, I wouldn't say easy, achievable goal. It's actually a really hard one for me to fast for an entire day. But it is, set yourself a goal today and achieve it, and that will help you get some more self-confidence. Wishes come true. Rapid achievement of your dreams and wishes. Once you break through this, once you get control over these situations, you open up the groundwork for all the things you've actually been wishing for to come through. That's how you create that pathway for yourself. That's how you start achieving your real dreams and your real goals. You have to Not just, don't just go psychobabble your partners and those around you. You have to do it to yourself too, so that you can break these toxic cycles, build your confidence. And once your confidence is built up and you are in control more, boom, you can flow easier through the universe and it can bring you in the wishes that you want. Little luxuries. Love this one. Little luxuries. Generates a luxurious experience and surroundings. You don't need a lot of stuff. You don't need a lot of money. You need to find a way to pamper yourself with a little luxury, and that will help you overcome the gilded cage. Find something that you can do for free that feels luxurious. All you need is a bathtub to do a bath ritual, right? You don't have herbs or whatever? Get you some Epsom salt, get you some peppermint tea bags and throw them in there. Pamper yourself. You don't need a lot of money to pamper yourself. I always say that, man. Woo, that sun is bright as hell. This is why I didn't want to be so late. But, all right, guys, those are the messages that I have for you. If you guys are in late, you can always watch the playback. Always, if you like my videos, please like, share, subscribe, spank that bell. I'm going to try to be on here every morning. You guys know how it goes. I got kids and everything. If I'm not, there was an emergency and they came first. All righty. I love y'all too. Blessed be all those who walk these paths with me. Namaste, guys. I love you. See you tomorrow.